What's the biggest challenge that beginner watercolor artists face? Fraying brushes? Chalky paint? Expired watercolor paper? Nope. It's actually muddy colors. If you're an aspiring watercolor artist who's struggling to mix the right shades and you're tired na puro na lang gray, brown, and medyo flat and lifeless yung mga paintings mo, then stick around until the very end. In this video, we're going to teach you how to avoid muddy colors and breathe more vibrancy and life into your watercolor paintings. Let's turn your paintings that look like this into this. Excited ka na ba? Before we move forward, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you can get updated with our latest tips and tutorials. If you're a beginner who's serious about finally learning how to paint with watercolors so you can express your feelings and develop your artistic talent, then we invite you to hop on a consultation call with us and see if you're a good fit to join our online watercolor painting course. We've taught over 200 Filipino beginner watercolor artists, from learning the basics to painting stunning florals, portraits, and landscapes in just a matter of months. You'll be guided by our pro watercolor mentors, Sir Ian De Jesus and Sir John Lapore, who have a combined experience of over 20 years as professional artists. You'll get personalized feedback and coaching alongside our community of dedicated aspiring watercolor artists. Ready ka na ba? You can book a consultation call with us to see if you're a good fit to join our course. The link is in the description. The fastest and easiest way to avoid muddy colors is to use 2 separate water cups when you're painting.
But bakit dalawang cups? Hindi ba sayang yung tubig? Hindi ba pwedeng isa lang?
Actually, you need 1 cup for dirty water para linisin yung brushes mo and another cup for clean water. The clean water cup you use to mix and activate your watercolor paints. If you use only 1 cup to clean your brushes and add water to your painting, talagang magiging muddy siya. Na-experience mo na ba na kumain ng isang ulam na may sabaw, tas after mo kainin, you place a different dish on that same plate? Medyo malalasahan mo pa rin yung sabaw, diba? It's the same concept. If you use dirty water with your bright, vibrant colors, you're not just mixing water and your current color. You're also mixing in every single color you used before. Mixing clean water and clean paint will create clean colors. Walang streaks of other colors, walang dullness, walang grayed out tones. Next time you paint with watercolors, make sure to prepare your 2 cups. If dalawang cups na yung ginagamit mo and muddy pa rin yung results, then there's a bigger problem that you have to address. You have to learn color theory. You may have heard the term color theory before, and you've probably heard na talagang importante to if you want to improve your art. And yet, kahit ilang beses na natin narinig to, ang dami pa ring beginners that don't take the time to learn it. Oh, guilty ka ba? Actually, our pro watercolor mentor, Sir John Lapore, went through this exact stage. He was stubborn and skipped learning color theory. Can you guess what happened? Hindi siya gumaling. At some point, kahit anong gawin niya, he just wasn't improving anymore. He had to swallow his pride and learn from the basics. Perspective, values, and of course, color theory. That was when he really saw himself improve. So now, it's time to learn how color theory works. We're about to get into some juicy information, so make sure na naka-ready na yung pen and paper mo to take down some notes. If you can understand color theory, you'll be able to make your paintings bright and vibrant and give it more depth and dimension. To understand color theory, let's start by looking at this color wheel. When you mix red and orange together, what do you get? Red-orange, diba? When you use 2 colors that are next to each other on the color wheel, you get an analogous color scheme. Like red-orange, as we mentioned, pwede ding yellow-green, and blue-green. You can mix these analogous colors and your colors won't look muddy. Your colors will actually look vibrant and cohesive in your painting. However, ano naman yung mangyayari if you mix opposite colors? Like instead of red and orange, you mix red and green. Well, you get brown. Ang tawag sa pair na ito ay complementary color scheme. The colors are across from each other on the color wheel. When you mix one color with its complementary, nagka-cancel out sila and it'll leave you with a muted brown or gray. Try mo mag-mix ng complementary colors like blue and orange or yellow and purple to see for yourself. Basically, mixing complementary colors will leave you with muddy colors. But this isn't the only thing you need to look out for. If you mix colors with different color biases, you can also end up with very gray-looking colors. What's a color bias? A color bias refers to how warm or cool-leaning a color looks. You can also refer to this as an undertone. Pag sinabi nating warm colors, think of colors you associate with heat and the sun. Red, orange, yellow. Yan yung warm. When we say cool colors, think of colors you associate with cold and refreshing water. Blue, purple, green. Yan yung cool. Red is generally considered a warm color. But did you know that it can come off cool as well? But how? Let's look at these two shades of red. You see a difference, diba? Dito, yung red has a yellow bias, meaning warm-leaning color siya. Mas mukha siyang orangey. Dito, the red has a bluish bias. Cool-leaning color siya. It looks more purple, parang wine. Here's another example with purple. Yung left shade is warm because it has more yellow in its mix. Yung right is cool kasi mas may pagka-blue siya. Medyo nagigets mo na ba? If you're like me, who struggles to understand alin ba talaga yung warm bias and cool bias, an easy way to identify is to compare it to the color wheel and see which of the other colors it looks closest to. Look at these two greens. Now, subukan natin malaman which one is cooler or warmer. When you compare the two shades sa color wheel, shade A looks closer to the color yellow, while shade B looks closer to the color blue. A yung warmer and B yung cooler. Let's compare naman yung reds from earlier. If you put them on the color wheel, it looks more obvious that the cool-leaning red looks closer to purple, and the warm-leaning red has a bit of orange. Let's practice a bit more with an activity. We'll show you two shades of the same color and then try to guess which one is the warm bias and which one is the cool bias. Are you ready? Here are two shades of blue. Which one is the warm bias and which one is the cool bias? Do you have your answer? The cool bias is on the left and the warm bias is on the right. Going back to the color wheel test, the warm bias blue is closer to a green blue and the left blue is closer to a true blue. Tama ba yung sagot mo? Okay, next. Here are two shades of yellow. Which one do you think has a cool bias and which one has a warm bias? Ready ka na for the answer? The left shade is cool and the right is warm. Yung left shade is a close match to true yellow, but compared to the right shade that looks more golden and orange and further away from the greeny-yellow mix, mas cool-leaning ang left shade in comparison. Kamusta yung results mo on this activity? Did you get both answers correct? Let us know in the comments. When in doubt, pwede mong i-compare yung mga colors to a color wheel. If your color matches closer to this side, it's probably warm-leaning. If it matches this side better, then cool-leaning siya. So, why have we been spending so much time trying to understand color biases? Kasi, if you mix two colors with similar biases, magiging vibrant pa rin yung mix. If you mix a cool biased blue with a warm biased yellow, that green will look a lot more muted and toned down. But if you mix a cool biased blue and a cool biased yellow, you'll get a punchy leafy green. If you mix a warm biased red and a cool biased blue, you'll get a gray shadowy purple. But if you mix a cool biased red and a cool biased blue, you get a richer purple closer to a grape color. A warm biased red and a cool biased lemon yellow will give you this brown ochre orange. However, to get a brighter vivid orange, you can mix a warm biased red and a warm biased yellow. Try to experiment with different combinations and see the results for yourself. FYI, if you mix all three primary colors, red, blue, and yellow together, it will quickly make your colors muddy, so be careful. Lastly, one of the reasons why you get muddy colors is your impatience. Actually, ang dami na naming nakausap ng mga beginner watercolor artists na nagsastruggle dito. Hindi pa nga tuyo yung first layer, they already jump into adding another one. So what happens? The colors mix together and you end up with muddy colors. I know, we're all excited to finish our painting, but your patience will go a long way. If your piece still looks shiny under direct light or medyo malamig to the touch, that means the paint has not dried up yet. It's not ready for a new layer. Here are more things to look out for. Is your paint still moving around on the paper? Kung tumutulo pa yung paint, it's clearly not dry yet. If it's not moving, does any paint or wetness come off on your finger? Is the paint blending and bleeding into other colors around it? If the answer is yes to any of these questions, hintay ka muna a little bit longer before putting the next layer of paint on. If hindi ka na talaga makapaghintay, consider using a hairdryer to speed up the drying process. We've shared all these tips with our very own watercolor painting students, and they've transformed their artworks from this to this. If you've been struggling learning watercolor painting for years and you feel like this is the time for you to finally ignite your passion and learn how to paint stunning portraits, florals, and landscapes with the help of pro watercolor experts, then we invite you to join our online watercolor painting course. You'll get personalized feedback on your artworks, and you'll be with a supportive community of fellow aspiring artists who are in this journey with you. No experience required. You can book a free consultation call with us to see if you're a good fit. The link to book a call is in the description. In the meantime, if you want to work on your watercolor painting journey by yourself, make sure to check out this video on watercolor supplies you absolutely need as a beginner.